Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for July 30th. Today we're going to talk about Die Monsters, Hansa Teutonica, V-Wars, and the Indiegogo campaign for Watch It Played. Let's get right to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. As far as Board with Life goes, we released a bit for the Spiel des Jahres winner, Camel Up, yesterday. It's pretty funny. You should definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Tomorrow we're going to be releasing our third episode of our Dungeons & Dragons playthrough podcast, where we're playing the new 5th edition starter set. If you haven't already checked out the first two, go ahead and do that so you can be up to date when we release the next one tomorrow, which I guess actually, sorry, that'll be today because I filmed this a day in advance and I'm not good at pretending like it's actually Wednesday because it's Tuesday. But and go subscribe to our iTunes account and all that stuff so you can stay completely up to date with that. Next week, instead of the news, I'm going to be doing my top 10 games for Gen Con this year, the top 10 most anticipated games. We're going to be headed to Gen Con, and so I figure why not let you in on the secret of what's inside my brain and what I like. Also, super exciting news. We started actual production on Board with Life, the series, Season 2, last weekend. I'm showing you a little time-lapsey thing. We shot at one of our favorite local game stores, Common Ground Games. They were lovely and hosted us, so if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely go by and check them out. They're great people. We're very happy with the footage and super excited to be in production for Season 2. And now we have our intrepid field reporter, Donald, who went to the dangerous wilds of Europe to learn more about board games and the way people like to board game in Europe. So Donald, take it away.
Sorry, satellite delay. Chris, I'm reporting live from Norway, where I've done a lot of research and found there are no board games in Oslo, Norway. I repeat, there are no board games in Oslo, Norway. Every person I tried to talk to about board games responded sort of, Sir, do you have board games?
No, I am a statue.
There's no board games in Norway. Back to you, Chris.
Wow, thanks for that, Donald. Very good reporting. Board game news. Die Monsters is getting released in the US. IDW Games is bringing it over. This is designed by Masao Suganuma, who designed the big hit Machi Koro that IDW Games also brought over. It's a very cute game for 2 to 6 players. It's a set collection game. Seems very, very simple. I really, really dig the artwork. So it seems like a nice light filler game or a family game if you have the kiddos. I apologize for saying kiddos like a really creepy guy. I'm sorry. Up next, Hansa Teutonica, the hit game from 2009, is coming back in print. This game won the Golden Geek for Board Game of the Year in 2010, and it's been out of print for a couple years now. It's also, we're going to get the expansion, Hansa Teutonica Britannia, which will add a new map as well as 2-player rules. So I'm sure Rado over at Rado Runs Through is going to be very happy that he can play it now with the 2 players. And by the way, if you don't watch Rado Runs Through, you should go definitely check him out and subscribe to his channel. But I imagine you already do, because he's great. Anyways, moving on. Also news from IDW, they announced at Comic-Con last weekend that they are going to be producing a game called V-Wars. V-Wars is apparently based on the comic by Jonathan Maybury, and I'm not aware of the comic, I don't know much about it, but apparently there's a bunch of vampires and humans fight them, so that's the thing, and there's vampires, whatever. There's no information on how this game's actually going to play or how many players or anything like that, but the reason I'm telling you about it is because Rob Daviau, famed designer of Risk Legacy, is going to be designing the game for them. So any Rob Daviau news I'm very excited about. I love him. He's got a lot of games coming out on the horizon. He's working on a bunch of stuff like Pandemic Legacy and Seafall and all that stuff. So I'm sure his plate's very full. So they have a very ambitious release date of March 2015. So I don't know how far along they are on that game, but I'm excited because Rob Daviau. As far as the Kickstarter or corner this week, it's actually an Indiegogo corner this week, but it's for Season 4 of Watch It Played. Watch It Played, if you're unfamiliar, which I hope you're familiar, Rodney and his family go through games. He's the nicest guy on earth, and they basically play games, and you can watch them and you can interact with them, sometimes between games and things like that. It's an incredibly good teaching tool for learning how to play games, as well as really good to like see if you want a game, because you get to see the whole game played through, all sorts of stuff like that. His campaign, you can get cool perks like some promo cards for Dead of Winter or Legacy, the Testament of Duke de Cressy, as well as some other swag if you're into that kind of thing, like digital art prints, things of that nature. But bottom line, he's a great guy. He's fantastic for the community. It's great for board game visibility, so you should go support him if you can. All right, that's the news for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe to our iTunes page. All those links are down below. Thanks so much for watching, and this week's question comes from @Jalis322 via Twitter, and he asks, how do you go about choosing what type of game to play at game nights, since different people enjoy different kinds of games? I'm pretty lucky that I have pretty flexible gaming groups, and I'm also open to almost any game. I'm very not picky when it comes to games. I certainly have preferences, but as long as I'm playing games, I'm happy to play almost anything. The way I do it is I usually am the one providing games, so I will, pick out 5 or 10 games and take them over and be prepared to teach all of them, and then I just kind of let the group decide, give them little elevator pitches on what the games are about and what type of game they are, and then let them pick and kind of guide them in such a way. If you have a group that likes a different kind of game than you, maybe you should find a new group or things like that, because maybe they just really like Ameritrash games and you don't at all, or maybe they love Euros and you hate dry games. There are a lot of games that also cross over though, where you can find a Euro game that actually has a pretty deep theme, like for example Eclipse that has like a sci-fi theme even though it's actually a hidden Euro game, or things like that. Or if they're really into war games, maybe you could play Dominant Species. It's kind of a dressed up war game mixed with Euro game, things like that. So maybe finding kind of the overlap in the Venn diagram would help. But I think having an open mind about games is a big part of it, as well as hopefully having friends that have open minds about games. So hopefully that helps you pick out better games for your game group. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.